Live from New Delhi, you're watching TT India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, coming up in the next 30 minutes. US President Donald Trump to address joint session of Congress for first time since returning to power. Trump threatens to escalate trade war with Canada after Trudeau announced retaliatory tariffs on US goods. Volodymyr Zelenskyy expresses regret over White House spat, where Trump says that nobody wants peace more than Ukrainians. Suicide car bombings at security installation in northwest Pakistan kill at least 12, with dozens injured. And in sports, India storms into the final of ICC Champions Trophy 2025, beats Australia by 4 wickets in the semi-finals. And on to the details now. US President Donald Trump is set to unveil radical plans to overhaul the US government and end the Ukraine conflict in his congressional address. The address to members of US Congress is Trump's first since he was sworn in as president for the second time on January 20th. As per reports, Trump will highlight his key achievements, including a record number of executive orders and an assault on the federal bureaucracy. Elon Musk, who is leading the charge against the federal bureaucracy, will attend the speech. Trump will also outline his economic vision despite the ongoing trade war with Canada, China and Mexico. And here comes the trade war. US President Donald Trump's new 25% tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada took effect on Tuesday, along with the doubling of duties on Chinese goods to 20%. But Trump has threatened to hike tariffs on Canadian goods even higher in an apparent reference to a US plan to impose reciprocal tariffs on global trading partners on April 2nd. It sparked trade wars that could slam economic growth and lift prices for Americans still smarting from years of high inflation.
Tariffs 25% on Canada and 25% on Mexico, and that'll start. So they're going to have a tariff. So what they have to do is build their car plants, frankly, and other things in the United States, in which case they have no tariff.
Well, the tariff actions set to upend nearly $2.2 trillion in annual U.S. trade with its top 3 trading partners. He declared that all 3 countries had failed to do enough to stem the flow of the deadly fentanyl opioid and its precursor chemicals into the U.S. The tariffs on Mexican and Canadian products could have deep repercussions for a highly integrated North American economy that depends on cross-border shipments to build cars and machinery, refine energy and process agricultural goods. Experts expect Trump's tariffs to be massively impactful to the economies that border Mexico and Canada.
So this is going to be very impactful for the U.S. economy. So, of course, we're putting 25% tariffs on our first and third largest trading partners, and we're increasing the tariffs on the PRC, which is our second largest trading partner, from 10% to 20%. So this is really large taxes on our 3 largest trading partners. This will massively disrupt supply chains. A lot of people will be laid off. This will increase prices, and this will be detrimental to the U.S. economy.
Well, U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick has said Trump may work out a partial resolution could be announced on Wednesday after he spoke to Mexican and Canadian officials. Lutnick said Trump was considering providing some relief to companies that comply with rules under the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement on trade that is due for renegotiation in 2026. While countries are not backing down, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau hit back with 25% tariffs on $20.7 billion worth of U.S. imports. Trudeau called tariffs on Canadian imports were a very dumb thing to do and said Ottawa was striking back immediately at its closest ally. Canada was also will challenge the U.S. tariffs under rules of the WTO and the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Free Trade Agreement. Canada, which sends 75% of all exports to the United States, may plunge into a recession unless the tariffs are lifted quickly. Trudeau said Canada would also look at non-tariff measures if need be, but did not answer directly when asked whether Ottawa might curb exports of crude oil or potash.
Canadians are reasonable and we are polite, but we will not back down from a fight. Not when our country and the well-being of everyone in it is at stake. At the moment, the U.S. tariffs came into effect in the early hours of this morning, and so did the Canadian response. Canada will be implementing 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods, starting with tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods immediately, and tariffs on the remaining $125 billion of American products in 21 days' time.
While Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum took a softer approach, vowing retaliation but without details, saying she would announce Mexico's response on Sunday, March 9th. And China on Tuesday swiftly retaliated against the fresh U.S. tariffs, announcing 10% to 15% hikes to imports levies covering a range of American agricultural and food products and placing 25 U.S. firms under export and investment restrictions. China suspended the soybean import licenses of 3 U.S. firms and halted imports of U.S. logs, stepping up retaliatory action after the United States imposed additional tariffs on Chinese goods. China also imposed import levies covering $21 billion worth of U.S. agricultural and food products, including soybeans, wheat, meat and cotton. The suspension of U.S. logs was a direct response to Trump's move on March 1st to order a trade investigation on imported lumber. Trump had earlier told that he was thinking about imposing a 25% tariff rate on lumber and forest products. The 20% tariff on Chinese imports will apply to several key Chinese electronic categories untouched by prior duties, including smartphones, laptops, video game consoles, smart watches and speakers, and Bluetooth devices. Meanwhile, British Defence Minister John Healey will meet U.S. Defence Secretary Pete Hegseth in Washington on Thursday to discuss a crucial peace plan for Ukraine. The meeting comes amid a flurry of diplomatic efforts to end the conflict after U.S. President Donald Trump paused military aid to Ukraine following a fallout with President Vladimir Zelenskyy. Well, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelenskyy is scrambling to repair relations with the U.S. after a tense meeting with President Donald Trump. In fact, the Ukrainian leader has called the clash regrettable on his post on social media platform X, mentioning the meet. He wrote that the meeting in Washington at the White House on Friday did not go the way it was supposed to be. It is regrettable that it happened this way. Well, Zelenskyy also expressed his willingness to sign a contentious minerals deal, which would grant the U.S. access to Ukrainian minerals in exchange for military aid. However, the deal's fate remains uncertain. Trump's decision to halt military aid to Ukraine has sparked widespread criticism, with many viewing it as a betrayal. Zelenskyy now seeks reassurance of the U.S. on Ukraine's commitment to peace and its readiness to negotiate with Russia. The move puts pressure on European allies to step up their support for Ukraine. And updates on Israel-Hamas conflict now. Israel on Tuesday signaled readiness to move to the second phase of the Gaza ceasefire deal, but stressed that an agreement on the release of hostages held by Hamas is crucial to extend the framework. Speaking in Jerusalem, Foreign Minister Gideon Saar said Israel was ready to proceed to the second phase of the Gaza ceasefire deal as long as Hamas was ready to release more of the 59 hostages it is still holding.
Mr. Gideon Saar, and then we'll open it for questions.
We don't have an agreement on phase 2. We demand total demilitarization of Gaza Strip, Hamas and Islamic Jihad out, and give us our hostages If they agree to that, we can implement tomorrow. We will only have to then discuss the ratio for the terrorists that want to get out from our jails, okay? It was not agreed in the agreement. It was left to be agreed on phase 2. There is no shelf agreement on phase 2. There's nothing in it.
Well, Israel criticized a plan put forward by Arab states for Gaza's reconstruction on Tuesday. Shortly after a summit of Arab leaders in Cairo, the Israeli Foreign Ministry in a social media post said the reconstruction plan failed to address the realities of the situation following Hamas' October 7 attack on Israel. Israel also criticized the statement's reliance on the Palestinian Authority and the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, continuing Israel's allegations of corruption and support for terrorism against these entities. Well, Arab leaders adopted an Egyptian reconstruction plan for Gaza on Tuesday that would cost $53 billion and avoid displacing Palestinians from the enclave. Egypt unveiled its plan on Tuesday while hosting an Arab League summit in the capital, Cairo. The plan aims to counter President Donald Trump's proposal for a Middle East Riviera by presenting a scheme for rebuilding the devastated Strip without displacing its population. Under the Egyptian plan, Gaza's Palestinian population would not be forced to leave their territory. The plan offers an alternative to United States President Donald Trump's suggestion that the Gaza Strip be depopulated in order to develop the enclave under U.S. control. Well, Tuesday's Arab League summit in Cairo aimed to offer an alternative to that vision a day after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reiterated his support for Trump's proposal. Speaking at the start of the summit, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi called upon the leaders to adopt the Gaza Reconstruction and Development Plan.
عملت مصر كذلك.
As the Arab foreign minister's endorsement of the Gaza Reconstruction and Development Plan and the adoption of the draft of the final statement, I now call upon to adopt the Gaza Reconstruction and Development Plan and the draft of the final statement. It has been endorsed.
بحيث تكون تلك اللجنة.
Well, in northwestern Pakistan, a suicide bombing tore through a security installation on Tuesday, killing at least 12 civilians and injuring dozens. The suicide bombers hit the wall of Banu cantonment about 200 kilometers southwest of Peshawar in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. Many of the injured, minors included, were taken into a hospital in Banu. Police officials said the blast was likely caused by a vehicle laden with explosives, adding that the figures did not include any security force casualties. A group affiliated with the Pakistani Taliban claimed responsibility for the attack in Banu. Ali Amin Gandapur, the Chief Minister for Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the border province where the explosion took place, condemned the incident and said he had sought a report from senior police officials on the blast. And still to come in this edition of DT India Live. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar meets UK leaders in London to strengthen bilateral ties. We'll tell you how empowered women entrepreneurs in India are redefining industries and co-creating and shaping a sustainable future. And vibrant celebrations take over the Netherlands' colourful carnival.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lipakshi Khuranan. Moving on, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar is visiting London. On Tuesday, he met top ministers of UK government. Minister Jaishankar called on Prime Minister Keir Starmer at 10 Downing Street today, conveying warm greetings of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Well, the two leaders discussed taking forward our bilateral economic cooperation and enhancing people-to-people exchanges. Prime Minister Starmer also shared UK's perspective on the Ukraine conflict. Also, Minister Jaishankar met Foreign Secretary David Lammy for this extremely warm welcome at the Chevening House. While later, along with F.S. Lammy, Jaishankar met Chevening scholars from India. The Indian minister termed the group as a vivid expression of two countries' talent and people-to-people exchanges, saying they surely are great advocates of India-UK ties. And Prime Minister of Guyana, Brigadier Mark Anthony Phillips, arrived in New Delhi for the World Sustainable Development Summit 2025 on Tuesday. Three-day WSDS 2025 begins today with the theme Partnership for Accelerating Sustainable Development and Climate Solutions. The summit is the annual flagship multi-stakeholder convening organized by the Energy and Resources Institute. Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson Randhir Jaiswal stated that this visit will add further momentum to the strong and growing multifaceted relationship, including in the areas of sustainable development and renewable energy. Early in February, Guyana's Health Minister Frank Anthony expressed a deep gratitude to India for its timely assistance during the COVID-19 pandemic, particularly for providing vaccines that played a crucial role in saving lives in Guyana. And India's western state of Gujarat is all set to host a mega semiconductor conference, Gujarat SemiConnect Conference, from today at the Mahatma Mandir Exhibition and Convention Centre in Gandhinagar. Union IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw, along with Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel, will inaugurate the three-day event, which will see participation from 2,500 delegates, industrialists, investors and policymakers. The event aims to attract investments, integrate Gujarat's semiconductor industry into global value chains and drive innovation in the sector. 6 country-specific roundtables, including India, US, India, Japan, India, Taiwan, India, Korea and India, Singapore discussions will take place as part of the event. Parallel to the conference, an exhibition will also be held to showcase the semiconductor value chain from raw materials to advanced technologies. And India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in the post-budget webinar on employment today via video conferencing. The key themes of the webinar include investing in people, economy and innovation. Prime Minister will also address the gathering on the occasion. Driven by the vision of the Prime Minister, the government has taken multiple steps to promote job growth and generate greater avenues of employment. Well, the webinar will foster collaboration among government, industry, academia and citizens, encouraging discussions to help translate the transformative budget announcements towards the same into effective outcomes. Also, with a key focus on empowering citizens, strengthening the economy and fostering innovation, the deliberations will aim at paving the way for sustainable and inclusive growth, leadership in technology and other sectors, and a skilled, healthy workforce working towards realizing the goal of Viksit Bharat or Developed India by 2047. Well, India is witnessing a new wave of entrepreneurship driven by young women who are redefining traditional industries with innovation and passion. From sustainable fashion to technology-driven solutions, these entrepreneurs are not only creating successful businesses, but also empowering communities and preserving cultural heritage. Their efforts are taking Indian craftsmanship and skills to a global stage, making a significant impact on the economy and society. Here's one such success story. Let's take a look.
From the narrow lanes of rural India to international markets, Huts and Looms has emerged as a beacon of empowerment. Jaya Saha, a corporate professional turned entrepreneur, saw the untapped potential of Indian handloom and decided to bridge the gap between artisans and consumers. What started with just 5 weavers has now grown into a community over 500 skilled artisans producing exquisite textiles that blend tradition with contemporary aesthetics.
Started with a small group of weavers. While working with them, we found out there were quite a number of challenges in the handloom sector, especially with the fair wages and equal opportunities for men and women, which we tried to sort out while we have grown to around 500 plus artisans across the country. We also believe that if we are working with the rural artisans and empowering them, we are taking India to the global platforms. We want to create a brand, a legacy where we can globally represent India. We believe in the vision of Make in India. We believe in the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat, because we believe if our roots are stronger, we are going to come out more stronger. We are going to grow more sustainably.
With a vision to take Indian handloom global, Huts and Looms is leveraging e-commerce and international collaborations to bring authentic, handcrafted fabrics to a worldwide audience. Weavers who once struggled for fair wages now have stable livelihoods. Through training programs and direct market access, young women entrepreneurs of India are not just reviving a craft but ensuring sustainability for generations to come. With a growing footprint in global markets, Huts and Looms is redefining the perception of Indian handlooms, making them a symbol of sustainable and ethical fashion. Kriti Varhera's report for DD India.
And on to some sports news now. Virat Kohli played a magnificent knock to guide India to victory by 4 wickets against Australia in the semi-finals of the Champions Trophy in Dubai and sealed berth in the finals. Kohli fell for 84 runs, but not before that took his team closer to the victory. The ace batter added over 90 runs with Shreyas Iyer for the 3rd wicket after both the openers were dismissed below 50 runs. India lost captain Rohit Sharma for 28 runs, while Shubman Gill was out for 8 runs. KL Rahul and Ravindra Jadeja took India over the line. Earlier, Indian bowlers restricted Australia to 264 runs after captain Steve Smith won the toss and opted to bat. Mohammad Shami was pick of the bowlers with 3 scalps, while Ravindra Jadeja and Varun Chakravarti took 2 wickets each. And New Zealand will take on South Africa in the second semi-finals of the Champions Trophy in Lahore on Wednesday. New Zealand convincingly won their first 2 games of the one-day tournament in Pakistan, then lost to India in Dubai and have now flown back to Pakistan again for the encounter. New Zealand are likely to stick with their 3-pronged pace attack of Matt Henry, Kyle Jamieson and Will O'Rourke, while South Africa defeated Afghanistan and England to top their group. South Africa might make some changes in the playing 11. While colourful parades, extravagant costumes and a whole lot of celebration for a period of 4 days, Carnival has taken over the south of the Netherlands. This vibrant festival marks the last big party before the fasting period begins. From music-filled streets to lively traditions, we take you inside the Dutch Carnival. Reporting from the Netherlands, here is Mark Limburg with more on this festive event. Take a look.
Carnival in the Netherlands is a vibrant, centuries-old tradition. Every year, cities like Maastricht and Den Bosch explode with color, music and parades as people in costumes celebrate. More than just a party, Carnival is a cultural event filled with satire, community spirit and festive chaos. Let's take you inside this unique celebration.
Iedereen is gelijk, welke rangstand je dan eigenlijk hebt.
Samen zijn, het familiegevoel, het vriendengevoel.
We zijn allemaal gelijk. We maken muziek, iedereen leeft er naartoe.
It is a celebration where everyone is equal, no matter their background, job or social status. People wear costumes that hide who they are, creating a sense of unity. Rich or poor, young or old, everyone joins the fun together. The festival is about laughter, music and enjoyment, bringing communities together without barriers.
En even alles om je heen vergeten. Daar is het eigenlijk.
Carnival 2025 is more than just a grand parade. In the next few days, the city buzzes with vibrant events. Throughout local pubs and eateries, there will be live music and themed gatherings, ensuring every corner of the city pulses with carnival spirit.
Het gaat om saamhorigheid, samen vieren en respect voor elkaar. Samen, alles samen, daar gaat het om.
Mark Limburg reporting from Den Bosch, the Netherlands.
All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.